Hey, welcome to the final video in the shares series, and this is about dividends. Wow, money, money, money. That's what we want. Here we are. The shareholders, look at all those hands down there, grabbing for their share of the profit. And this is a shareholders meeting, and the directors are throwing out cash. And you might remember from an earlier presentation that if the company makes a profit, they may share some of that profit with the shareholders. They may keep some also for further expansion. So we're going to visit that again now. We've already seen some of this. It's a little bit more detailed this time. So we're talking about sharing the company profits with the shareholders. It's called a dividend, and it's usually paid a certain number of dollars for each share. The dividend per share is the total dividend paid divided by the number of shares. So the total net dividend that they want to share with the shareholders. It's not the whole profit. It's only that dividend there. Okay, so dividing by the number of shares we've got. Well, we've done that before, but there's another one here, and this is again from Hayes and Harris. But we'll have a look at this exercise first of all. Ordinary shareholders, they've decided to pay $650,000 of the profit, and there are 20 million shares on issue. That's how many shares they had issued. Calculate the dividend per share for ordinary shareholders there. So it's a total dividend divided by a number of shares. Look at the millions. 650,000 divided by 20 million. So it's only that much in dollars, or $3.25 a share. So it's not a lot, but it depends on what you paid for the share. It could be a good percentage of what you paid. Now, we've done these calculations before, so I'd like you to practice doing that, and I've got the answers down below here. So pause the presentation and do that little division problem for each of these and check your answers. All right, so here we are. There are the answers. Now, there's a variation on this, and that's what this video is about now. This video is about paying dividends and to ordinary shareholders, and that'll be a dividend per share, but also to what's called preference shares. Okay, so we'll do that in a minute. So let's work out what the total dividend was that they paid to shareholders. You can work backwards. The number of shares times the dividend per share. So we're working backwards from that little division problem we did. So let's have a look at an example. A company declares it will pay $4.25 per share dividend. Kent owns 3,400 shares. Calculate the dividend paid to Kent. So the dividend Kent gets will be the number of shares held and how much they're paying. So he'll get back $144.50 for his bundle of 3,400 shares. Okay, that's not a hard calculation, it's just going in reverse. So let's have a look at another way in which shares are issued and dividends are paid. Shareholders could own preference shares. These are usually a bit more expensive because what happens is they are guaranteed a dividend rate as a percentage of the value of their shares. The par value is the value of shares when they are first issued. So you go in and you buy these shares, and the value you're going to get when they declare a dividend is worked out on a rate. So they say if we declare a dividend, we'll give you a rate of 3%. Let's say they declare a dividend to preference shareholders of 3%. So that means you get your number of shares times their value you paid for them, or the par value at the beginning, and then you multiply it by a percentage. Can you see the advantage here? You are guaranteed a rate of what you paid, a percentage of what you paid. Now, preference means they give those shares at that rate, the shareholders at that rate, the dividend first, and then they divide up what's left of the total profit they want to share with shareholders to the ordinary shareholders. So the big advantage is, as a preference shareholder, they will pay you out first, and they will declare a given percentage, not a rate per share. So it's a little bit different. So let's have a look at some calculations now and see if you can see the difference. A company declares it will pay a 6% dividend on $2 preference shares. calculate the dividend paid to a shareholder who owns that. So the number of shares held is 7,200. He bought them for $2, or she did, and they're going to pay 6%. So this person's going to get $2,064. Same sort of idea, but it's worked out on a dividend rate because it's a preference share. It's paid in preference to the others. They pay those people first, so it's a special deal. Okay, so let's have a look at some questions now. Find the dividend paid to a shareholder who shares in the company paying a 7.5 cents per share dividend. So these are ordinary shares where they pay a certain number of dollars per share. Oh, now, these are 5%, 7%, etc. These are what's called preference shares. And they are paid out first in preference to other shareholders. And then what's left is paid per share. So they split it up according to a preference, if you like. All right, we'll pause the presentation. I want you to try and do the two types of calculations. This one we've done sort of before. This one is new, a percentage of the value you paid originally for your shares. Okay, and I'll show you the next couple of questions. And then, there we are, goes down to question 6. And now I'll show you some answers. Okay, well, I hope you've enjoyed the journey in Shareland, and I'll catch up with you later on with a different topic. Cheers for now.